Whew, cutting that a little bit close. All right. Take a couple minutes. Go over. I got to get a box real quick too. Finish this little messaging. All right. So show the comments on stage. What the world? Oh, okay. So give me a quick moment. I'll be right back. I'm going to get the one package that we're going to end the show on. All right. I'm back. So we got one package from PBC that we're going to crack open at the end of the stream. Whew. And now we're free flowing, freestyle, rocking it freestyle. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, there we go. Rocking her freestyle. All right. Let's see if we got anything going on. Any comments yet? Nope. Okay. So what we got going on is freestyle. We're going to be talking about whatever we want, what's going on, updates with the channel, and flowing with that. And welcome to episode 3 of Bear's Lair of the podcast called Barely There. Why is it barely there? Well, we're barely here doing a little bit of a podcast. We shoot for doing this once a month. Normally we have a theme. If we don't, we're going to call it the freestyle, where we can end up going whatever way that we can end up going. Also, I want to say that this channel is sponsored by Panel Bound Comics, where you can use the discount code of Fifth of Jack to save $2 off. Or if you have 4 or more books, you can use the discount code Jacket Together to save 5% off your entire order instead. Orders of $30 or more ends up getting free shipping. So that way you can end up experiencing the awesome Panel Bound experience. So what we end up having is at the end of the show, we're going to end up opening up a box that we got from Panel Bound Comics and be able to go from there. So talking about that, what's going on? How's it going? And if anyone's there live, just let me know. Holler if you got an idea for a topic, and we'll go from there. Today, I ended up going to our local comic book shop, picked up a few books. Big note is that you have Spider-Man and Superman, that #1 that came out today. And I believe it's also the last issue of Thundercats. Issue number 25 comes out today. However, we are going to have a continuation that's going to be going on with it because they're going to go through Thundercats versus Silverhawks. That's right. I made a big deep dive into Silverhawks. I didn't read the issues yet. Yet is the key word over there. I'm going to read them over when they get over to Hoopla. Probably read the trades that goes along with it, because when I tried reading the first issue, it wasn't gelling with me, but I never watched the episodes. So, however, I dove in, watched all 65 episodes. Thank you, Tubi, for having access to that. It was kind of a unique experience that comes over with that. And if you don't know, Silverhawks and Thundercats carry a whole bunch of stuff over. It's made by the same company. It looks like it had the same animations, and it looks like that it had a whole bunch of the voice actors. The voice actor of Tigra was the voice actor of Quicksilver. I think that's what his name is. So that's the leader of the Silverhawks, and Larry Kinney, which is the voice of Lion-O, who is the leader of Thundercats, was what was it? Green grass or something like that. Either way. So we ended up having some similarities that comes over with that. And we already got the first issue of Thundercats versus Silverhawks, and it has a pretty good ending that comes over with it, wraps around with the appearance of the Copper Kid at the end. So I am also planning on doing a big deep dive into the single issues of Thundercats that goes along with that. I'm not going to pick up any of the trades. I already have the single issues. However, if they ever come out with an omnibus, I'm all there. I'm going to be picking that bad boy up. I'll be the first one in line to pick that bad boy up. I'm enjoying all the Thundercats. Obviously, it's not just nostalgia. I just enjoyed the entire thing that goes over with it. And later on tonight, I have some single issues to be reading. So that was one big thing that got going on. For my friend Omar over at Near Mint Condition, I ended up doing a deep dive. Well, not a deep dive. I ended up diving into the first volume of Uncanny X-Men. I'm a little bit around halfway there. I'm enjoying what I'm reading so far. Stay tuned. When I finish that up, I'm going to do a review about that. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing the Claremont climb or if I'm going to jump over to Wolverine or anything like that. I'm on the fence to just go over and go to volume 2 and keep on going over because I have volume 2 and 3. I don't have volume 4. Maybe I could read that on Marvel Unlimited, or I could just wait for a reprint of Uncanny X-Men volume 4. Or I could make the jump over and start with Wolverine. That's the main reason I ended up going that route, is because he brought up a real good point. Is start with Uncanny, where he gets it, where you end up seeing Wolverine for the first time, and then you get dived into the character. So, hey, how's it going, bud? Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. So let me down in the comments down below what I should end up doing, what you think about going with. Should I keep on going down the Uncanny route to switch over to volume 2 when I finish it up? Or should I be going over to Wolverine? All right. I read some Dynamite Thunderbolts run from Dickon. You mean Thundercats? Because Thunderbolts would be Marvel. But I haven't read any of the older content. What's worth the read? If you're talking, okay. All right. So I would suggest Wildstorm, and they have a couple different trades that was out. I don't know if they're out. I think they're out of print. But Wildstorm has Reclaiming Thundera, which has a pretty good reintroduction of Thundercats. And then for me, the best story I have, to make sure you read Reclaiming Thundera first, but then read Thundercats The Return. Return is my favorite story from the Thundercats comic book line. They do have eventually going to be having another omnibus that's going to be coming out that has the first 24 issues of Thundercats that was by Star Comics, which was a subsidy of Marvel. And that was a mix of both the TV series and new issues. But I think, honestly, Reclaiming Thundera would be a good, solid start to come over with it. That's from Wildstorm. So I'm hoping eventually sometime we get a DC comic of that. Reclaiming Thunder, like I said, is my favorite. It's not given away, but a certain group loses everything and they have to rebuild, and you end up getting along with the journey of that. Hammerhand's Revenge is a meh. It's a little bit Japanese style. No problem, man. I'm glad I could be able to help with it. Thundercats is right down my alley. I love that entire thing. Like I said, I'm gonna be trying to do some more reading, so I'm hoping on dropping up some more reviews. I'm trying to figure out the format that I want to end up doing it. There's so many different people I like to be able to have a similar style with, but I want to also try putting my own spin with it because that's a common problem that comes along with that. And then obviously you've already started reading the new one. Issue 25 come out today, so that's gonna be wrapping up the current run of Thundercats. They're gonna go strictly over into Thundercats versus Silverhawks. So that was coming over with that big event. I don't know if they're gonna do anything after the event gets done, but it's going over like 3 different titles that you end up having. So also talking about that, I ended up dropping a review, I believe a couple weeks ago, where we ended up reviewing that classic Dynamite Thundercats Omnibus. We tried a couple different things. I took a few pictures of big crucial parts or examples of the book and everything that I ended up liking and what goes along with it to be able to show what's going on. I kind of like that format instead of going over and showing everything that goes over with it. I feel like I spoiled too much of the story. And the big thing is I want to try doing with the reviews is I want to be able to highlight some stuff, but I don't want to highlight and spoil the entire book. Main goal is trying to get something where you can end up actually watching it or not watching or watching it and get an idea and see if you're interested in the book. And if you're interested into the book, well, go pick it up. If you're picking it up, hopefully you pick it up from Panel Bound Comics though, and use our handy dandy code. That would be awesome. So I covered that. Channel wise, we're going decent. We have a little bit of magic that's been mixed into what's going on. I'm loving that. Possibly sometime I'll stream some matches on Arena. If I get playing some more of that, that's going to be some online base that we can end up playing. And then I'm also going to be diving back into deck techs. That's another thing I'm going to be trying to cover. I'm going to try recovering deck techs. I had a fun time breaking down that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pre-con. I got some updates that comes over with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I ended up having. And then I also have some Spider-Man decks that I ended up finally getting over to tooling around and getting that fixed up. I've been running everywhere. And for the future, I'm going to try getting this a little bit more planned out. The big problem is my day job or my regular job is I don't have set days off that comes over unless it's like a Sunday. And I kind of use single Sundays as my content for that day. So I think this is going to be bopping around between a Friday or Wednesday or whatever day I ended up being able to line it up. It may not be always at 2:00 or 2:10 or anything like that. It might not be around 2, but it may be later because of honestly working and everything. This is a little side gig, so we end up going. Talking about that, let's go over at Panel Bound Comics and see what they have over there. It really got to get familiar with this. Share screen. Panel Bound Comics. Boop, boop. Perfect. Share. So if you don't know that you have the Skybounds, the G.I. Joe Kickstarter that's going on, this is super tempting. I don't have room, and I haven't really read any G.I. Joe. Heard really good things about it. And that's why this Scarlet collection is super tempting to go over with it. So you end up getting both Kickstarters. So you will have 1 through 8 of that. This is the Roadblock and Snake Eyes. These are going to be the ones that go on top of the other ones that you ended up having. This is a continuation that comes over with that. Got a massive 50% sale that's going on. And you got pre-orders now. So we'll check out the pre-orders. I want to do that real quick. FOC. So we're going to check that bad boy out. You got a whole lot of DC. I think right now the only books that's on my radar to pick up will be the Swamp Thing, Dark Genesis, Omnibus. I want to get into Swamp Thing. And I think this is the precursor before Alan Moore. So it'll be definitely a setup, because if I got this, I want to get this and then Alan Moore's. My main goal is trying to get Alan Moore's as a thing, but I think picking this up will be a nice strong win. Let's see what this ends up at. It collects 1 through 25, the final issues. Joe Robinson, the Saga Swamp Thing, 1 through 15. Saga Annual, Brave and the Bold, 122 and 176. DC presents number 8, Challenge of the Unknown. Stories from the Phantom Stranger, number 14. House of Secrets, number 92. And 140. Unpublished Patchwork Man Tale from the Lost House of Secrets, 141. Arts and scripts. Woo! Writers: Len Wein, David Michelini, Martin Pissarro, and others. Artists: Burley Wyson, Nestro Rondo, Thomas Yates, and others. Swamp Thing, The Darkness, Omnibus. So I am definitely interested in that. I'm going to add that there. Oh, I'm not logged in. So we'll save that for later. So we'll go back. So that's one book that I'm thinking about picking up. And this is another book that I have to pick up because I have volume 1 and I just want to have the complete thing going on. And honestly, it looks amazing. I've liked what I've read of it, of the volume 1. So I'm going to pick up Birds of Prey. And then there is one other book that I'm thinking about picking up, and that would be no. Tom King's Omnibus Volume 2. I have Volume 1. I love what I've read of Tom King, and this is going to be something that's going on. I do want to pick up, I want to say his premiere edition is going to be coming out pretty soon. I believe I got this already. I think I already have that one. I think that's the first volume, I believe. Yeah, that's the first volume. All right. So that covers the FOC that we end up having. I'm going to hit going home. And then we're going to jump on over to what Panel Bound Comics has on sale. 50% off Pilgrim Random House Winter Sale of 2026. So they're going to have a bunch of good books that you could be able to check out. You have 20 pages worth. So we're not going to dive into it. We'll just end up going over through a few pages and be able to see what they end up having. You got Wolverine. It's volume 6, but you get that for half off. Secret War, Excalibur, Spider-Man, Strikes with Matai. More Wolverine. So I would be tempted to pick this guy up because I believe Wolverine Goes to Hell. Okay, that's the second part of Aaron's run. I had to look over on the shelf real quick. X-Men by Mark Guggenheim. Godzilla. That's another one I want to be picking up. Oh, that's half off too. That's 50%. Ooh. I need this book too. That way I'd be up with the Black Panther. I don't know. That's another topic I'm gonna end up bringing up is I'm gonna also be having a Calling the Herd sale off. So I'm gonna be selling some of the books that I have over here in the collection. Stuff that I ended up going differently. Big highlight that I can remember right off the top of my head. It is gonna be Invincible, the compendium, the hardcover, volume 1. I ended up changing my mind instead of going into the compendiums. It didn't make much sense just to have a hardcover, so I ended up pivoting over into the library editions. So volume 1, I'm going to be having that up for sale, which works pretty good because, well, I guess Invincible is back. And there's going to be, I believe, a few other books that I have currently in the stack. I haven't looked at them quite yet, but there is going to be a Calling of the Herd. I'll have that be posted over in a couple different areas. All right, this is solid timing. I am going to now talk about that. Oh, if you haven't been realizing it and it just snuck up onto you, Daredevil, the Born Again season 2 dropped last night at, I want to say 9 o'clock. So you have one episode that you can end up watching. It started up and it's okay. It's pretty decent. I don't know if that's going to be something I'm going to go over with. I'm going to watch it, go over and watch my friend Chris over at Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Or is it Marvel Alliance? It might be a Marvel Alliance. Marvel Alliance. I keep on putting Ultimate Alliance because I'm so used to the game. Either way, I'm going to go over and listen to what he ends up having to say. And I feel like that he's going to cover the main things over on that place. So if that's something you're going to want to do, check it out tomorrow, I believe around 9 o'clock EST time, where you can be able to see his Marvel Alliance and be able to see what's going on. And he ends up keeping pretty well updated. That's pretty much where I get all my Marvel news that comes over with that way. So with that, let's crack this bad boy open. Oh, there that is. And see what's inside this guy. All right. It's one book. Wrapped in bubble wrap. Bubbles for days. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. My bubbles. Ooh, it's an independent book. So that's not DC, Marvel, or anything like that. What is it? It is Radiant Black, book number 2. Talking about Chris, this is going to be another one that he ends up liking. That's something that would be amazing, like comes over that. Volume 1 was pretty awesome. Warranted me getting volume 2, and I think I'm going to continue going on as long as we end up getting these. I know some people that have read these in singles and has enjoyed that the entire story, and it's enough where I'm going to end up picking these guys up and be able to check that out. It's awesome. It's from Image Comics. So there's the spine, back, and front. And it has Radiant Black 13 through 24 and Shift number 1. Cover price of $44.99. And like I said, you can go over to Panelbaum Comics and use the discount code of FitTheJack to save $2 off. Or if you have 4 or more books, you can use the discount code Jack It Together to save 5% off your entire order instead. Orders of $30 or more ends up getting some free media mail shipping. That way you get to truly experience how the PBC or Panelbaum Comics experience goes. All right, guys. Like I said, down in the comments, let me know what I should end up doing. I'm about halfway through volume 1 of Uncanny X-Men. Should I continue to clear my climb and go over to volume 2 of Uncanny, or should I be jumping over and starting Wolverine? let me know down in the comments down below of what path that you would end up suggesting. And with that, covering that, I know this is a little shorter episode, but hey, we're barely there, so we're barely rocking. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. Stream.